Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are going to be digging into just a monumental document, a speech delivered at a really critical turning point in history.
Hmm.
We're looking at the farewell sermon, or the last speech of the Prophet Muhammad.
And this is such a remarkable historical source. I mean, it wasn't just a religious address. It was, in a way, a final constitution.
Right.
It was delivered by the prophet during his last pilgrimage, and he knew. He actually said he might never meet you again in this place.
Wow. So that context, that sense of finality is just, it's everything, isn't it?
It's absolutely essential. It meant that every single command, every prescription was designed to be permanent.
So our mission here really is to treat this sermon as a kind of blueprint. We want to extract the very specific, actionable commands he gave.
Yeah, on everything from finance and law to social trust and human equality.
Exactly. And see how they stack up against the issues that, we're all still grappling with today.
What's so fascinating is how it immediately jumps from these big abstract principles to deeply practical, even painful actions. It's not just philosophy.
Yeah.
It's a series of legal declarations designed to completely dismantle the old social order, what was known as the Age of Ignorance, and replace it.
So to properly understand this, I think it's best if we just let the words speak for themselves first. I'm going to read the core excerpts from the sermon, just so we all have the text fresh in our minds.
Good idea.
Oh, people, listen carefully to my words. Your lives and your property are sacred, as inviolable as this day, this month, and this city. Return anything entrusted to you to its rightful owner. Do not wrong others, and do not allow yourselves to be wronged. Every practice of the age of ignorance is now under my feet. The blood feuds of the past are ended. The first claim I set aside is our own family's claim for the blood of Rabia ibn al-Arith. The usury of the age of ignorance is abolished. The first interest I cancel is that owed to my uncle Al-Abbas ibn Abd al-Muttalib. O people, fear God concerning women. You have taken them as spouses through God's trust. They have rights over you, and you have rights over them. Treat them with kindness. I leave among you something which, if you hold firmly to it, will never lead you astray. The Book of God. O people, you all share the same Lord and the same Father. All of you descend from Adam, and Adam was created from dust. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab over an Arab. A white person has no superiority over a black person, nor a black person over a white, except through righteousness. Let those who are present convey this message to those who are absent, for perhaps the one who hears it secondhand will understand it better than the one who heard it directly. O God, have I conveyed your message?
Wow. Even just hearing it read like that, it's incredibly powerful.
It really is. So let's unpack that. Where do we even start?
Well, I think you have to start where you started, with that baseline for law and order.
The sanctity of life and property.
Exactly. He says, your lives and your property are sacred, as inviolable as this day, this month, and this city. He's linking basic human rights to the holiest things they know.
So it's not just a suggestion, it's a divine level command.
It's a permanent legal standard, and then right on the heels of that comes the basis of a functioning economy. Trust.
Return anything entrusted to you. It's so simple, but without that, society just falls apart.
It does. And then he sums up the entire ethical framework. Do not wrong others, and do not allow yourselves to be wronged. But, that's where the real revolution begins.
Because he doesn't just leave it as a nice phrase.
Not at all. He gets specific. He starts naming exactly which societal wrongs have to go right now.
And this is where it gets risky and very, very personal. He starts with the financial system.
Yes, with usury. The command is just, it's dramatic, usury is abolished, and all interest is now waived.
You have to understand, this was the engine of the economy for many people. It created massive wealth for some and, debt slavery for others.
For sure. It was a system that basically guaranteed the rich got richer and the poor were trapped. But he didn't just announce a ban.
No, and this is the crucial part, isn't it? He makes it personal.
Precisely. To show that this new law applies to everyone equally, he says, the first interest I cancel is that owed to my uncle Al-Abbas ibn Abd al-Muttalib.
His own uncle. He's canceling a debt owed to his immediate family publicly. Why was that so important to do?
It's the ultimate act of leadership by example. It demonstrates that the law is above family, it's above tribe, it's above personal financial gain.
It hurts his own family's bottom line.
It does. And in that one moment, the theoretical principle becomes painful, actionable law for everyone, starting at the very top.
He's literally putting his money where his mouth is. And he does the exact same thing when it comes to criminal justice with the cycle of violence.
Yes, the blood feuds. The command is just as forceful. The blood feuds of the past are ended. The old world was just trapped in these endless cycles of revenge.
One killing leads to another. For generations, it just never stops.
Never. It was perpetual low-grade warfare. And again, just like with the money, he grounds the command in a personal family case.
He says, the first claim I set aside is our own family's claim for the blood of Rabia ibn al-Arith.
Think about that. He is publicly ordering his own family to give up their right to vengeance for a murdered relative.
For the sake of the whole community.
For the sake of establishing a society based on law, not on tribal vendettas. He's trading personal grievance for structural peace. It's a massive societal pivot.
Okay, so we've covered economics and law. Let's pivot now to the social order, to human relationships. He starts with women's rights and dignity.
Right. And again, you have to see this in the context of abolishing old customs. The instruction is to fear God concerning women. But the foundational concept he introduces is that they were taken as spouses through God's trust.
That phrase, God's trust, that completely reframes the whole idea of marriage, doesn't it?
It totally changes it. It's no longer just a social or economic contract. It's a divine responsibility. Their welfare is put on the same level as your duty to God.
And it sets up this idea of balance.
A reciprocal relationship. The text is very clear. They have rights over you, and you have rights over them. Treat them with kindness.
So it's not just about protection, it's about defined mutual rights. They are partners with claims that have to be honored.
Which was a huge step.
Yeah.
And that idea of rights flows directly into what is maybe the most radical statement in the entire speech.
The call for universal equality. Yeah, this is the part that feels so incredibly modern.
He appeals to a shared humanity, a single origin for everyone. Well, people, you all share the same Lord and the same Father. All of you descend from Adam, and Adam was created from dust.
That one line is designed to just dismantle prejudice at its very root.
It removes any possible justification for tribalism or racism. And then he spells it out so there can be no doubt whatsoever.
Right. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab.
Nor a non-Arab over an Arab. A
No.
white person has no superiority over a black person, nor a black person over a white. It's just, it's absolute.
It's an incredible statement. It directly confronts that temptation in every society to base your status on what group you belong to, on your identity.
It does. And here's the genius of it. If you strip away all those markers, tribe, color, ancestry, as a way to measure a person's worth, you have to replace it with something.
The sole qualifier.
The sole qualifier.
Yep.
The only thing that makes one person better than another is based on their actions, except through righteousness.
So your worth isn't about your bloodline, it's about your character, your conduct.
Exactly. It grounds human dignity in our shared origin, but it places the burden of being superior squarely on your own moral behavior.
That's a remarkably clear solution for so many of the identity conflicts that are still tearing us apart today.
It really is. It suggests that if you just stop measuring people by the accident of their birth and start measuring them by their conduct, so many of these divisions would just collapse.
Okay, so he's laid out this entire blueprint: economic fairness, structural peace, social dignity, radical equality. So the final critical question is, how did he intend for all this to be preserved? What's the mechanism to make sure it sticks?
He addresses that directly. He gives them the guiding light, the permanent reference point. I leave among you something which, if you hold firmly to it, will never lead you astray. The Book of God.
So the source code is established. That's the foundation.
That's the foundation of law and morality. But there's another piece to it. It's not just about having the book. It's about actively spreading the message.
The command for dissemination. He tells everyone listening.
He tells them to convey this message to those who are absent. It turns every single listener into a teacher, into an active participant in preserving the law.
And there's that one line in there that's just, it's so insightful. It's almost a reflection on history itself.
Oh, it's incredible. He says, perhaps the one who hears it secondhand will understand it better than the one who heard it directly.
Wow. That is an incredibly self-aware thing to say. It's an acknowledgement that time and distance can actually bring clarity.
It's a recognition that future generations, removed from the immediate politics and personalities of the moment, might actually see the core truths even more clearly.
That's a powerful thought to end on, and the sermon itself concludes with him looking up and asking that ultimate question to God. Oh God, have I conveyed your message?
And it really is a complete closing statement. It ties everything together: faith, finance, justice, equality, with clear, painful, actionable examples that demanded sacrifice from the very top first.
So if we pull back and look at the whole picture, The text really does offer these timeless principles for problems we're still wrestling with. The abolition of usury speaks directly to systemic debt and economic disparity.
Hmm. And canceling the blood feuds is a model for moving past these deep, entrenched historical grievances and just establishing the rule of law for everyone.
And that declaration that only righteousness grants superiority.
It remains maybe the most potent weapon against prejudice and racism ever articulated. It just sets an ethical standard that makes all our physical and cultural differences irrelevant.
We started this by noting his hope that maybe the person who hears the message secondhand might understand it better. If that's true, if the passage of time lets the core truths shine brighter, what fundamental truth from this sermon, maybe one that was overshadowed by the immediate, painful changes it demanded back then, resonates most powerfully with you today?
That is something to think about.
That's something to mull over until our next deep dive.